All right, so I mentioned yesterday that I had planned on coming out here and talking about being goal driven and being just motivated by goals. But to be honest, that's going to be a pretty lengthy topic, and I don't have the time for that tonight. I had planned on not really doing much this afternoon. I had planned on putting in a big squat session this afternoon, but I ended up going fishing. Caught the first fish for the year, little bitty bass about that long. But anyways, I got home kind of late from that, and I'm just ready to get into bed, so I'm not gonna have the time to get into that topic today. Anyways, maybe tomorrow. So I figured I'd just give you guys a little update on everything else. The deadlifts that I did yesterday: 135 for 20, 225 for 10, and 275 for 1. My hamstrings are very, very sore. I'm learning that I have weak hamstrings, which I've known that. It's just every time I do anything to train them, I'm reminded of how bad off they are. I could come out here and do a set of good mornings with the barbell, maybe like 3 sets of 10, and I'll be sore the next day, probably the next 2 days. But all day today, I've had trouble leaning over. So the hamstring soreness is very, very notable right now. I also want to mention that I'm pretty light weight-wise right now. The last, good squatting streak that I had, about the time I hit the 385 PR, I was, anywhere from like 153 to 156. I weighed myself today and I'm down to like 147 right now. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not entirely sure. I know that I am sleeping very, very good. Through that tough period of squatting where, there's a lot of gains and stuff, I remember being very tired, just a lot of fatigue and everything from the heavy squat workouts. And I remember, just waking up and never feeling like I had a good night's rest. Wake up through the night a few times, just sleeping very light. But this past week, I've been sleeping pretty heavily, and the last, 2 or 3 days, I've went all the way through the night without waking up at all. So I don't know if, closer to like, a little sub 150 is better for me, or a little more like natural. It just seems that the heavier I get, yes, there's a lot of strength that comes with that, but then the sleep kind of suffers, the running definitely suffers, and at times I think recovery suffers from being heavier. I mentioned a few videos ago that I was having difficulty recovering after the runs because I had done something to my right foot. I could run a mile, and then the next 2 days at work, I'd kind of be limping around on my foot. And it seemed like I'd run on Sunday, and then I wouldn't be able to run again until Wednesday or Thursday because of the foot pain. And so it was like 2 runs a week were maximum, because that was the best way, that was the fastest I could recover and then be ready for the next run was, twice in a week. This week I ran, I think, 2 miles Sunday or Monday, and then I took one of the dogs for a walk on maybe Wednesday or Thursday. Ended up, jogging probably half a mile with the dog. A little bit of, tightness in the foot the next day, nothing serious. And then last night I ran a 5K, and I woke up today, and yeah, there's a little bit of tenderness in the foot, but nothing like it has been in the past 2 to 3 weeks. I'm telling y'all, I'd run a mile, just an easy mile, and then the next day I'm limping around at work on my right foot, and I was like, dude, I don't know how I'm ever gonna get my mileage back up like this. But now seems like I've lost a few pounds, and the foot issue is becoming less of a problem, and I feel like I'm recovering from that a little quicker. But anyways, losing a little bit of weight. The strength on the squats is probably going to start to decline here soon, but I'm looking to pick up my mileage on running a little bit. I don't know. It'll be interesting because I think I'm going to start pushing more upper body work, which would, theoretically cause me to gain weight. I don't know. Say a fair chunk of it is probably water weight. It's been warming up here pretty good where I live. So I've been sweating a lot more at work and stuff. But I just wanted to let you guys know, coming back down on the weight a little bit, sleeping better, running feels better, recovering from certain injuries and little tweaks and stuff. It seems like those are becoming less of a problem. That's pretty well all I got for you. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow.